Hey, so remember when Black Panther came out and some people called it the first black superhero movie? Well, guess what? They were wrong. Not only did a black Marvel superhero previously come to the big screen with 3 Blade movies, but you also had stuff like Spawn and the Shaq movie Steel.
I ain't got no problem.
Oh, yes, you do.
And I know what some of you are thinking. Well, Steel sucked. Okay. Doesn't mean it didn't exist. Not only that, but there were even black superhero comedies. There was Blank Man, which put a comedic twist on the whole Batman-style superhero who didn't have any powers and instead relied on gadgets.
Slap me around and call me Susan.
And this one, Meteor Man, which not only featured a black Superman-style hero, but also had a predominantly black cast and a black director. Even though a lot of people seem to forget that. So why isn't it more remembered today? Was the world just not ready for this type of movie? Or was it because it was a disappointment? Some of you probably already know the answer to this. Meteor Man, or The Meteor Man to be more accurate, is a 1993 superhero comedy from stand-up comedian Robert Townsend, who in addition to starring in the title role, also wrote, produced, and directed it. This was a real labor of love for Townsend since he not only wanted to make a comedy, but also a movie that had a positive message. Although, as I'm sure a lot of you probably already know, whenever a comedy also tries to be important, that can sometimes get in the way of the funny. So the movie begins in, the Christmas light galaxy from Star Crash. Oh, wait, never mind. It's actually the opening credits to the 1978 Superman movie. And if you don't believe me, just listen to the music. Not to worry though, because the movie gets early 90s real quick. Hey, Michael Jackson. Now there's a hero I'm sure everyone can get behind. Oh, and if anyone has mixed feelings about Michael Jackson, just wait, because there's somebody else in this movie that's a little uncomfortable in hindsight. Anyway, Robert Townsend plays our main character, Jefferson Reed, a substitute teacher in Washington, D.C., who's nice to all his neighbors, one of whom is played by James Earl Jones.
What do you think?
Look, James, you're a good actor, but you were not getting cast as Moe in the Three Stooges movie, alright? Alright, I joke, but James Earl Jones is one of those guys who can somehow keep his dignity even when he's wearing a dumb wig like this.
I would never give up any of my records for anything. Be like cutting off one of my hands.
I mean, just listen to that voice. He could have a rat tail mullet and I'd still hear what he has to say. Oh, Jefferson seems pretty well liked in his neighborhood. Not only does his landlady let him slide on his rent, but his buddy Eddie Griffin even offers to set him up on a date.
Oh, Jeff, you gotta get over Stacey. It's been 4 months since you broke up. You gotta move on, experience life. Anita's bringing her girl. Says she's a 10. Without a weave, she's a 6.
Okay, you go through a bad breakup and then you rebound with an easy 6. Sounds pretty standard to me. Apparently Jeff's got a thing for comic books. His favorite is the royalty-free Avenger. However, some of the parents aren't too fond of his teaching methods.
Look, we have taught this boy to stand up for himself. He said Mr. Reed teaches us different, and that Mr. Reed encourages the smaller kids to practice running, hiding, and eating their lunch quickly.
Okay, apparently Mr. Reed teaches a class on how to be a pussy. Also, did this kid get hurt like this running away from the bullies? Because if he got like this standing up to him, maybe he should just run away. Jeff's got bigger things to worry about though, like all the gang activity and oh my god, what the hell? Okay, I'll admit, James Earl Jones in a Kid and Play wig is pretty funny. Kinda makes me sad they didn't do more with him though. And wait, is that Robert Guillaume playing Jeff's dad? And Don Cheadle? I'll give the movie this, it does have a pretty awesome cast, and we're just getting started. Anyway, people in Jefferson's neighborhood are worried about a gang called the Golden Lords, who not only have matching jackets, but also Simon Phoenix hair.
Gangs only take over because you let them. If you were to challenge them, they think twice.
Maybe. Or maybe they just shoot you. And I don't think handing out Make Our Community Great Again hats is gonna stop the gangs either.
You crazy,
If you think I'm gonna walk up some dark alley with a loud orange hat on my head and a whistle.
Yeah, James Earl Jones would never wear something that stupid on his head. They gotta do something about the gangs, though. Not only did the Golden Lord swipe Jeff's radio, but they don't even recycle either. The fiends! Jefferson gets an opportunity to make a difference in his neighborhood when he stumbles upon a woman getting mugged by some of the little rascals. And apparently they're part of the Rhythm Nation, too. Okay, come on, guys. Hurry up and start the song, will ya? I hate it when music videos have long intros. Oh, and hey, Jeff, remember when you talked about running away from bullies earlier? Well, that's probably a good idea right now. Oh man, I should have stayed in New York. I only had to worry about the Foot Clan there. Jefferson manages to get away by hiding in a dumpster. Now if he could only find a suit that actually fits him. And bad news, dude, you got more to worry about than just the gangs. Just kidding. Meteor Man is a lot like Superman, except in this case, kryptonite is what gives him his power. Good news, Jefferson, not only are you alive, but you also got a hot nurse.
My name is Vanessa, and I'm gonna take great care of you.
Wow, he got hit by a meteor and woke up in a porn. However, there may have been some side effects.
Oh, my God.
Let me have a mirror. Let me have a mirror. This is how I always look.
Oh, sorry, we thought that gag would hit harder, so we figured we'd oversell it. He did get some powers, though, like reading a book by touching it. I'm not kidding.
Causing the tissue to heal.
Wrong. The Stromberg theory states that minor burns could heal under stress. You really should reread chapter 14.
I see the meteor also turned him into actually man. However, the effect wears off after 30 seconds. And Jefferson's gonna be really upset when he finds out what the meteor did to his dick. Anyway, what else can he do?
They said it was on the floor. I didn't understand it.
Ah, X-ray vision. Very nice. Either that or this is a really casual hospital. And if you're wondering what he's gonna do with this power...
I can see through their clothes. Vanessa.
That's right, he's gonna use it to perv on women. Hashtag Meteor 2. Just his luck, though, Nurse Della Reese is on duty tonight. Hopefully the meteor didn't also give him a weakness to skin tags. Eventually Jefferson's able to go back home, but they still have the Golden Lords to worry about.
At the rate we're going, in 3 months, we'll be ready to make the move on New York. Because if I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere.
These guys seem like if all the high school theater kids started their own street gang. Whatever. Now that he's home, does Jeff have any other powers?
The way to meet Rick I'm starving.
Oh, great. He can also speak 90s kids movie. Yeah, truly criminals do not stand a chance. So just to recap, so far he has X-ray vision, the ability to instantly read a book and then forget it 30 seconds later, and he can speak dog. Come on, man. Hindsight Lad is a better superhero than you are.
I can touch a book, and for 30 seconds, know and do everything in the book.
Okay, touch a screenwriting book and think of some better powers for your superhero movie. By the way, Jefferson isn't the only one affected by the meteor. Shortly after it hit him, a piece of the meteor was picked up by a nearby homeless man, played by...
Kids have not been in here.
No, them kids been in here.
Huh. Well, no idea who that guy is. Can't think of any jokes I could possibly make here. Yes, that's Bill Cosby as Marvin, although I don't remember if they say his name in the movie or not, who also got superpowers from the meteor. So, of course, he's X-ray peeping in on people. Oh, and he also has telekinesis. Now he can roofie a woman's drink from across a room.
Bambi's mother had great tits.
Wait, what? The Golden Lords are beating up Robert Guillaume? Hey, don't do that. Now how is he supposed to be in Half-Life 2? You know, I don't know why everybody is so afraid of this gang. They look like they're about to break out into a choreographed dance routine at any moment.
When I woke him up, he used very foul language at me.
Oh hey, it's Wallace Shawn playing a dweeby teacher. Oh, seems like a pretty appropriate role for him.
I suspended him from school, and that same afternoon, I went outside and all 4 tires on my red Mustang had been slashed. Absolutely unbelievable.
I think you meant to say...
Inconceivable!
Alright, Jeff's aware that he has powers. Now, is he actually going to use them to fight crime? Come on, dude, your dad got beat up.
What happened?
Your father thinks he's Superman.
Well, at least somebody thinks they're a superhero. Uh-oh, the Golden Lords are back and they're snazzier than ever. Jefferson better do something. Yeah, now we're talking. Finally, some useful superpowers. Jefferson's so strong, even tiny Zeus Lister can't hurt him. Their necks are probably broken.
Using steroids.
Hey, come on, he's got to grow into those baggy suits somehow. Speaking of which, prepare to have another one ruined. Not to worry though, turns out the meteor made Jefferson drive-by proof. Hey, and he can fly too. Looks like his powers have really stepped up since that lame 30-second book power.
What am I doing up here? I'm scared of heights.
You just learned you're bulletproof. Jump, dumbass. Or, fine, creep on some women while you're up there. Hashtag Meteor 2. And here's another power. Apparently Jeff has earthquake ass. Now, if you're wondering if Jeff's ever gonna do something like that again in the movie, nope, he sure doesn't.
Dad, I'm starting to get scared. The Golden Lords know who I am.
Okay, you're bulletproof. Who gives a shit? Plus, now you have an excuse to buy a suit that actually fits. Speaking of suits, his mom made him a costume. Now he can try out for the Avengers. Or possibly Parliament Funkadelic.
You're gonna be the best dressed superhero. Better than Batman.
Better than Superman.
Well, I don't know about that. He might be better than Steel.
Now put the gun down and there won't be any trouble.
Oh man, please, I'm about to smoke you like a blunt.
I gotta do that one someday too. His mom's right to make him a costume though. Jeff's gotta protect his secret identity.
Your mother told everybody how you were hit by that meteor and now you have superhuman powers.
Oh great, why don't you just give the Golden Lords a social security number while you're at it? Eh well, we already know he's bulletproof, so if the Golden Lords go to his place, everyone else will just be in danger. Okay, time to give Jefferson his Meteor Man costume. The original version got flagged, so had to use an 8-bit cover there. Alright, Jefferson's costume finally matches the one in the poster. Now it's time for him to patrol the neighborhood and fight crime. You will believe a man can awkwardly lie on a blue screen table. First order of business, time to bust up a crack den.
Drug dealer people, Meteor Man's in town.
Well, that's just a waste of coke. Next, he stops some guys stealing TVs and VCRs. Okay, bit of a step down from the crack den, but whatever.
Who the hell are you?
Who are you?
I'm the TV repairman.
Wow, that's a dumb supervillain name. By the way, Meteor Man doesn't stop these guys. Instead, he just flies away and assumes the people in the building will take care of it. I mean, it's not like one of them has a gun or anything. I mentioned this movie has an awesome cast, and that extends to more than just actors. For example, the Crips and Bloods in this movie feature members of Cypress Hill and Naughty by Nature. Okay, that lends some credibility to the movie. With the tone so far, I was half expecting the Fat Boys to show up. And here's a fun fact. Turns out if you tell gangs and the police to put down their guns and talk things over, they'll just immediately do it. Who knew the solution was that easy? Meteor Man's getting so popular, he's got people trying to steal his thunder pretending to be him.
Mr. Carter, people say they saw you fly away.
Well, I move so fast, people think I'm flying. I used to be a boxer. I'm bad.
Look, Pops, just get off the TV, will you? You're making a fool of yourself.
Everybody's gonna think he's me.
You know, you could just tell the news you're Meteor Man. Everybody else in the neighborhood seems to know. As if the cast of this movie couldn't get even more awesome, they even got a genuine Batman villain. The Riddler himself, Frank Gorshin, playing a crime boss who's involved with, crime, I guess. By the looks of it, he's got his hands in a little bit of everything.
Simon, what do you know about this?
Nothing.
Nothing.
What do you mean, nothing? It started in your territory, huh? for nothing. What does that mean?
And I gotta say, he's actually pretty fucking good playing a mafioso type. It almost makes me think he could have played a decent Carmine Falcone in a 90s Batman flick. Wait, is Meteor Man in a junkyard now? Is he gonna split in two and fight himself like in Superman 3? Nah, instead he just pulls some more powers out of his ass. Not only does he apparently have a super crop seeding ability, but he can even control the weather too. He's gone from being Black Superman to Black Thor. Great news, everybody. Meteor Man just made some giant parade float vegetables. Be careful eating them, though. They're probably radioactive or something. So now that Jefferson knows he has this incredible ability, he then dedicates his life to eradicating world hunger. I'm just fucking with you. He never does anything like this again in the movie. In fact, you know what? There's a lot of plot threads in this that don't really go anywhere. Remember when Jeff was worried people would think John Witherspoon was him? Well, guess what? He's never seen again after this, and no one mistakes him for Meteor Man. At the beginning, they mentioned Jefferson went through a breakup a few months ago and should start dating again. This also never really goes anywhere. They introduce a plot point of Jeff having a fear of heights, which is why he flies so low to the ground, but then all of a sudden he isn't afraid of heights. There's no scene of him overcoming his fears or anything. New powers are introduced and then forgotten whenever it's convenient. Probably the weirdest example is when Jefferson comes home and finds out his landlady's been brutally beaten by the Golden Lords and has to be sent to the hospital, but then just a few scenes later she's fine and the beating is never mentioned again. Why even introduce such a dark tone whiplash scene in a comedy if you're not gonna do anything with it? So here's a fun fact. According to IMDb, the movie supposedly went through several rewrites during production, which is the reason for all the plot holes. I have no idea whether or not that's true, but yeah, sure feels like it. And all the dead-end subplots would be forgivable if the movie was actually funny, but it almost seems like it's not really trying that hard to make you laugh. And I don't mean that like there's been tons of jokes so far and I just haven't liked them. I mean there haven't been that many attempts at jokes. Tonally, a lot of the movie leans towards either being sentimental or even weirdly serious at times. And what gags they do have seem more like the movie's trying to be cute than make you laugh out loud. At this point, I'd even take some slapstick.
Reporting for Channel 3 News.
Sorry, Michael.
Okay, that was pretty funny. And in case anyone still didn't know this movie's from the 90s...
This is my boyfriend, Malik.
How are you doing, my beautiful sisters?
Oh hey, Sinbad. He played a superhero in Shazam back in the 90s. That's how that meme goes, right? I will admit, there is a pretty clever part where Jefferson grades tests by touching them and reading the answers instantly, but he's got more to worry about than his teaching duties.
Good morning, Mr. Reed.
Damn, how did you find out my secret identity?
Your mother told everybody how you were hit by that meteor.
Oh yeah, right. Thanks a lot, Mom. Okay, first of all, dude, you're a superhero. Second, even if you weren't, you're being held by children. Just shake them off. Not that it really matters, since Eddie Griffin comes in and makes up a story about Meteor Man being sighted somewhere else, and the Golden Lords instantly believe him and just leave.
Who does the hair?
I don't know, probably the same stylist Amber Rose goes to. I think I know why Eddie Griffin helped hide Jeff's secret identity from the Golden Lords. It's so he can steal his costume and pretend to be Meteor Man himself. After all, you know the best part about being a superhero? The super groupies.
Cause I can tell from my X-ray vision that you and I would have a good...
Hashtag Meteor 2. Also, hey Chris Tucker, nice of you to make a cameo in this movie. I'll let you know if we need that...
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
Sound clip in case there's ever a real fight scene in this movie. The Golden Lords are there too, and even though Eddie Griffin isn't a superhero, I'm pretty sure he could still beat up some kids if he wanted to. Despite Jefferson's best efforts to make it look like Eddie really is Meteor Man, the Golden Lords still figure out it's him, although to be honest, they should have figured that out anyway. He doesn't even bother to wear a mask. At least Superman wore glasses when he was Clark Kent. Not only that, but pretty much the whole neighborhood knows who he is. See? Everybody knows! Oh great, the Golden Lords are at the party too. The way things have gone so far, Jeff's mom probably invited him. Oh, so Jeff's got super speed now too. I don't know why the movie made such a big deal out of that reading a book by touching it power. He's got a whole bunch of way more useful ones that he barely uses.
Message. You can't be everywhere and save everybody.
No, but I bet he could kick your ass right now.
Let's roll!
Or just let him go, whichever you feel like. And hey, Meteor Man just discovered a new ability. He can secrete delicious strawberry jam. Oh, wait, I think he might actually be losing his powers. Couldn't have come at a worse time either. The Golden Lords go to Jeff's apartment and they brought along crime boss Riddler.
Thank you, darling. We didn't know which apartment was his.
Oh, you could have just asked his mom. She probably would have told you. And what the hell? Why isn't Jeff waking up during any of this? Did the meteor also give him super narcolepsy? His dog has to drag him away and hide him.
The meteor changed your molecular cell structure, which caused you to sleep more while your powers are being re-energized.
Okay, sure, whatever. Jeff's parents also ask him to leave town and lay low for a few weeks, which he refuses. He is putting you all in danger whether you like it or not. Okay, so just to recap, so far Meteor Man's grown some giant vegetables, caused an earthquake, and done almost nothing to stop the Golden Lords, even though he's had numerous chances to do so. Good job? If anything, the neighborhood seems to have gotten worse. Everything looks like Post Malone's face now. Even the people in the community are starting to turn on him. But that doesn't mean Jeff can't still be self-righteous.
How can we stop the crime and the gangs if we act like we don't see them? But how can you complain when you do nothing?
You're the one who just let them get away after they opened fire on a crowd of people. You've had superpowers this whole time and you're gonna criticize them for not doing enough? What's your plan to get rid of the Golden Lords? Talk to your dog again?
I just wish I could talk to you one last time.
I was kidding! Jeff better figure out a way to stop the Golden Lords. They come right to his doorstep. Title drop! Even though Jeff doesn't have his powers anymore, he's got nothing to worry about. Turns out the Golden Lords just came here to make a truce. Bye! Oh no! Losing my powers and getting the shit kicked out of me! My one weakness! Lucky for Jeff, Cosby Bum's there to save the day. At least I hope that's what he's gonna do. Huh. I wonder what he just said there. Oh, okay, just checking. You know, it's weird. We're almost at the end, and in just a few seconds, Cosby Bum's done more to stop the Golden Lords than Meteor Man has for the entire movie. Even the people in the neighborhood join in. Turns out all you need to do to get rid of gangs is hit them with brooms and frying pans. By the way, my favorite part of the scene is these two just standing around not fighting.
We don't even be doing this, man. Look at all this black on black crime.
Okay, that was kind of funny. Why do all the best gags in this movie involve Eddie Griffin getting hurt somehow? Things take a turn when Cosby Bum drops the meteor and it's touched by both Jefferson and the Golden Lord's leader, Simon, which means we might actually get a super fight in this superhero movie. And so, Jefferson gets his Meteor Man powers back, and Simon is transformed into the Platinum Blonde Avenger.
This is what I think of you, Meteor Man!
Also what most critics thought of this movie. Jeff also uses his book reading power again, although it's for something really stupid. Alright, look dude, you've got super strength and heat vision. I don't think you need to learn kung fu in order to beat up a little kid. See? Told you. Hey, you know what? Let's see if we can make this climactic fight even sillier.
Shake that body. Shake that body.
Alright, guys, we're at about 90 minutes. How about you just absorb a book that tells you how to end this fight scene?
Don't touch my hair.
30 seconds. Thank God.
See, even the movie's agreeing with me. Simon seems to gain the upper hand, and he even throws a dumpster on Jefferson's dog. Even worse, Jeff seems to have forgotten that he can fucking fly. And in case anyone still didn't know this movie's from the early 90s... He just said, yeah, boy. Well, at least he didn't say it's hammer time.
Simon, look! Show's over.
Nah, there's still a few minutes left. Now that he's got his Meteor Man costume back, Jefferson finally remembered his useful powers instead of that stupid book reading one. Alright, now that Simon's taken care of, time to beat up some toddlers and call it a day. Or you could just take their pants off. The fuck? And hey, the movie's been pulling new powers out of its ass for pretty much the entire runtime, so sure, might as well add healing dogs to the list. Okay, looks like the day's been saved. But hang on, wasn't Frank Gorshin in this movie? What the hell happened to him?
Meteor Man. Finally, I get to meet Meteor Man.
Alright, just beat him up quick so we can end this, okay? And wait, is that Luther Vandross? Damn, he's gonna defeat Meteor Man with his smooth vocal stylings. I'll say it again, this movie does have an awesome cast. Too bad a lot of them don't do a whole lot. Oh, and you wanna know how this movie ends? Watch this. That's right, the finale of this movie involves the Crips and Bloods coming in to save the day. How many movies can you say that about? And don't expect more of an epilogue than that, because the credits start rolling almost immediately afterwards. That was abrupt. Despite a decent amount of pre-release hype, including a Marvel comic tie-in, Meteor Man was a failure at the box office, making only about $8 million against a $20 million budget. Critics didn't much care for it either, and while it's gotten a small cult following today, for the most part, it seems to have been forgotten. Look, I'll give Robert Townsend credit. He wanted to make a superhero movie with a predominantly black cast that also had a positive message, so his heart was in the right place. But having good intentions does not always equal a good movie. I mentioned that the movie supposedly went through several rewrites, and whether that's true or not, that is definitely how it feels. There's numerous subplots that are never really resolved, new characters are introduced and then suddenly forgotten, and like I said, this would all be fine if the movie was actually funny, but there just aren't enough solid jokes here. Tone-wise, a lot of this feels like a kid's movie, just with some gang violence and crack dens awkwardly sprinkled throughout. This is one comedy that could have seriously benefited from being raunchier. I get that Robert Townsend wanted to have a positive message about ordinary citizens standing up to gang violence and cleaning up their community, but even the message part seems muddled. I mean, the end of the movie involves gang members saving the day by pointing guns at people. Is that the message he was going for? Guys, put down your weapons. Violence is not the answer. I'm just kidding, it totally is. The movie does have a great cast, featuring both established veterans and future stars, as well as some that are a little awkward in hindsight. But again, a lot of the cast seems wasted here. For example, James Earl Jones is set up like he's gonna be a major character, but after that, he mostly just stands around in the background wearing a goofy wig and not really doing anything. Again, I'll give Robert Townsend points for trying, and making a black superhero comedy was a pretty ballsy move in 1993, but much like the title character, this one never really gets off the ground. It's too bad this didn't come out in the 70s, though. Then we might have gotten a Turkish Meteor Man. Well, that's all for now. Until next time.
With the nose, such a DJ prepare for the death go.